Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Nixon. I am the Assistive Technology Service Coordinator at Gentry, which is part of the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind. I'm going to share today about our recent plight with this coronavirus problem. And I'll tell you, it's the first interruption in home services for this department since the mid-90s. We always go to where people are to provide assistance, and so this is a different world for us. I think March 13th was the last day that we worked here on campus, and after that we were at home for several weeks. At that point we started trickling back a few at a time to handle certain tasks, but on July the 16th our entire staff returned to work on campus, and our restrictions are that we have to get temperature checks and a sticker on your shirt to say that you've been screened for the day, and we're also having to wear masks at all times. Anytime that you're at work, that we're not asked to wear the masks other places, but anytime we're on campus we have to wear masks all the time. And so it's a little bit of frustration to be able to provide services under these restrictions. Some of the things that we've been able to figure out is that we can provide a number of technical support services through Remote Assist, or Quick Assist it's called in Windows 10. We have managed to make deliveries by leaving things on the porch pre-configured and having the client take it in and plug it up and just sit around the driveway until they're satisfied that things are working properly, in case we have to give assistance over the phone. Anyway, it's been very difficult, and so we're doing the best we can to help people when they need technical support and evaluations. We have done evaluations over the telephone, and we've begun to make some informational videos on genres of magnifiers. For example, I think you guys may get to see a video that Glenn Tommy made giving detailed descriptions and demonstrations of 3 desktop magnifiers. Actually, they're portable magnifiers. But people will be able to click a link and see that video on YouTube and hopefully gain a great understanding of what those machines are capable of, and maybe which one has buttons that they think will be friendly, or whether or not will fit into their workspace comfortably. And so it's just another way that we're trying to take care of business under these restrictions. And so we have been able to continue to do assessments in some cases, not in all cases, and we have not visited anyone inside their home since the second week of March, and I have no idea when that restriction will be lifted. We're anticipating maybe students will return to campus in the fall, but even that is not for sure at this time. Anyway, we've been struggling to provide services with lots of restrictions and hurdles to jump through or jump over, and hoops to jump through. But so far we're getting by. I think students are receiving valuable services, and I believe the contact that our technicians are making has value, and it is benefiting the people that we serve. So we're real happy about that. But we certainly look forward to a time when we can return to work and start to visit people in their homes and their schools and their businesses like we always have. And so that's the gist of where we're at. And if you have questions, or if you think we could help you in any way, please send us an email or give us a call here at Gentry. And have a good day.
All right, today we're going to talk about a little bit about how we're providing some of our services to our consumers with the COVID-19 crisis. My name's Glenn Tommy. I work for Assistive Technology Department at Gentry for Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind. And since March 16th, we've had to kind of change the way we do things in our department. Previous to that, the equipment would come in, we would get it set up, take it to the client's house, consumer's house, set it up, provide on-site training, whatever they needed. That's been impossible the last couple of months. So what we've done to kind of compensate for that is change the way we go about getting it to them, how we go about the training portion, and that kind of thing. So what we do is when the equipment comes in, we've already talked to the person. We know whether or not they need large print, speech, combination of both, or one or the other. So we try to configure the equipment here, have everything set up previous to us taking it out to them. The email, have their email set up, their login, the passwords, all the shortcut keys for on the desktop. Try to have it completely set up. So when we take it, we have to take precautions. Obviously, we wear a mask, gloves. We have hand sanitizer, whatever it is we need to protect ourselves and to protect them. We take it to their house or place of business, college, whatever the situation is. We call ahead, make an appointment, find out where it's going to be. Most of the ones we've done so far have been to the house. Haven't done any really to any businesses yet, but take the equipment, set it up on the porch, get back in our car, call them and let them come out, pick it up, and then carry it in. And what I've done is stay on the phone with them, make sure they get the equipment turned on, make sure it boots up properly, and then we can go over some of the things like location of power buttons, the location of USB ports. And I'm referring to laptops here mainly because that's what we've done the most of so far, but I have done a couple of desktops, but in those situations the people have been pretty skilled as far as getting the cables plugged back in the right way, the monitors connected, that kind of thing. But anyway, when the person gets it in their house, walk them through getting connected to the internet if they have internet service at their home. Some of the laptops and deliveries we've done, we've also delivered a Verizon jetpack with it. And in that situation, we'll configure the jetpack to automatically connect to the laptop so there's no connection issues when we get it to their house. As long as they can get the jetpack turned on, laptop turned on, it automatically connects. So then they've got internet right out of the box. But if it's a Wi-Fi they have at home, we'll walk them through getting that connected so they can have internet access on the laptop before we leave. Because that really comes into one of the biggest issues. We need to make sure they have internet access so they can do their online classes, they can get their software authorized, that kind of thing. So internet connection is really important for us. But a lot of people that we are taking this equipment to may not be really have a lot of skill, so we need to make sure we have the process set up as simple as possible to allow them classroom access or college class access, whatever they're trying to do with it. And we also have been delivering full-size keyboards with a lot of the laptops and Chromebooks that we've been delivering, just because the students have been here at Gentry training, they're used to a full-size keyboard. They're not comfortable with the small laptop keyboards that have numerous functions and different combination of keys. So to make it easier, we've delivered a laptop keyboard with it, with the driver installed already. So when you plug it in, it's ready to go. But that's just some of the ways we've tried to adapt some of our services to allow our students and our consumers to be able to keep going during this process. I've also delivered and set up and picked up some CCTVs that people have had issues with. Either we had loaned it to them and one person had purchased his own, so I went back and got our loaner and he did the same thing. He set the CCTV out on the porch. He wanted to know exactly what time I was going to be there, and I called him a little bit ahead of time so it didn't sit out there overnight or anything. And I stopped, got my mask and gloves on, and he went back in the house, and I picked up the equipment and put it back in my car. And I've done that a couple of times for different situations. One guy had we swapped out the loaner CCTV because the one that he had quit working. So, but we're constantly trying to come up with new ways to provide our services to people that way we can keep people connected, keep people involved in our classes, keep their training on track, so when we do come back here, or they do come back here, they're not behind. They can continue taking classes just like they always have. And our department, we're continuously trying to adapt our services to the changing environment. It's been really difficult in a lot of situations, but we've been able to overcome a lot of the problems and things that have come up. We've been able to overcome them, mostly to keep our people to be able to be connected. So if you have any questions or comments, you can get in touch with our department here at Gentry at 256-761-3423. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Kerry Dean. I'm from the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind. I work for the Assistive Technology department here up in Talladega. Today I'm going to be demonstrating the Quick Assist feature in Windows 10. In today's world with COVID-19, we're not allowed to go into people's homes, but a lot of our clients, they still need technical support. So we're trying to figure out ways to help them. And one of the ways is going to do remote support, and we've been doing that for many months now. And there's a lot of different ways to do remote support. There's a lot of different programs out there. There's TeamViewer. We have LogMeIn. You have the Google Remote Desktop. But the easiest one that we found is the Quick Assist. Now that is built into Windows 10, and the qualifications to use Quick Assist is Windows 10 and an internet connection. Besides that, you can connect with anybody basically in the world this way. And Glenn Tommy's going to join us here in a minute over the telephone. He's going to actually assist me with this. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do, when a client needs help, on our end, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the search, and we're just going to type in Quick, and it's going to pop up at the Quick Assist app. Now, we're going to have a couple options. Now, the client is going to do the same thing on their end, and they're going to get the exact same window that pops up here. The first option you have is Get Assistance, and the second option is Give Assistance. Now, the Get Assistance is just simply asking for a code here. If you're going to give assistance, what you have to do is click on the assist another person, and you'll have to sign in to a Microsoft account. If you don't have one, you will have to create one. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in real quick, and there's my email. If anybody needs it, you're welcome to email me. I'm going to go ahead and sign in here, and then what it's going to do, it's going to actually generate a code. And if you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but it's going to offer a 6-digit code. And there's a timer on this. And this code, by the way, is not a static code. It's not going to be the same every time. So if I close this window and redo the Quick Assist, it's going to generate me a brand new code. And in 10 minutes, if you don't do anything, if you can't communicate with the person in time, it's actually going to refresh this and give you a different code. So the code's going to be different every single time. So let's go ahead and get Glenn on the phone. So I'm going to call him.
Hello.
Hello, Glenn. This is Kerry. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I heard you needed some remote technical support today.
Yes, sir. I'm having a lot of problems.
All right, so what we're going to do is, Glenn, we would tell the client on their end to type in the Quick Assist in the search box. So, Glenn, if you don't mind, hit the start button and type in Quick, and then press the Enter key.
All right.
And it's going to ask you for a code. And the code is 127327. Type that code in for me and press the Enter key. And by the way, if somebody's using a screen reader like JAWS or NVDA, it will actually read everything to them also. All right, and on this end, it's going to say take full control or view the screen. Now, the view the screen is just going to where I can just look at the screen, but it won't actually let me have control of it. But at this situation, I want to actually take the full control of it. And so I'm just going to leave it on that, and I'm going to hit continue. And on Glenn's end, it's going to actually pop up an allow button. So he's going to actually have to click allow. So for a low vision user, they can just grab the mouse, and Glenn, if you don't mind, just click the allow button.
Okay.
For a screen reader user, they may have to hit the tab key a few times until it says allow, then press enter. Then right here it's going to pop up. This is Glenn's desktop right here. So now I have complete control of his computer. I can actually do anything just like I'm sitting there. So we can go to the control panel, do any tech support we need to do. So, if they have dual monitors, a lot of people will have some questions about that. There's actually an option up here that you can switch between the monitors. Now you can actually have full screen of both monitors. It will actually put smaller windows up here for each monitor. But it's kind of tough to see when you have that in a small screen, but you can actually switch here and go in between the monitors. Just do everything you need to do, fix everything that they need. You can actually watch them, and whatever, if they're having some issues, you think that maybe they're doing something wrong, then you can actually just watch what they're doing, and it's how you just do it the wrong way, then you can correct it right there on the spot. It's pretty intuitive. If somebody has to have some software installed that requires their system to be restarted, then what you can actually do is you can restart it from the Quick Assist app. Don't just turn their computer off, because if you just turn their computer off, then it'll just break the connection, and you'll have to go through the whole process of reconnecting and all that. If you actually restart from the Quick Assist app, it'll actually restart the computer, turn their computer back on, and it will automatically reestablish a connection. So that's a great feature to have, and that's helped me out quite a bit actually. So just do whatever you need to do, and when you're done, you can just come up here to end this session. I'm just going to click the end button, and Glenn, on your end, I would tell the consumer, I say, okay, we're done. I'm going to close the connection now. And Glenn, did it close down on your end?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Glenn, is there anything else that you need at this time?
No, I really appreciate the service.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so now we're done. It's really that simple and that easy to do the Quick Assist. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 256-761-3423. And you guys have a great day and stay safe out there.
All right, thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk about 3 different CCTVs. These are desktop CCTVs. We're doing this to give people a little idea of what they can be used for and how they're used, since we really can't go out and demo a lot of them right now. But the first one we're going to talk about is the Acrobat, and the Acrobat's made by Enhanced Vision, and the one we've got in front of us here has a 27-inch monitor. But they do come in different sizes, 24-inch, 22-inch, and I think they still sell a 19-inch. But the one we have to demo today is a 27-inch. And it has a master switch on the back that you have to make sure is on before you are able to use the remote or any of the other options. If that's not on, nothing else will come on. But once it's on, you can use the remote to power it up and down. So now, this device, the camera is up top right here. It's a high definition camera. It has a lens that you open when you're doing long range viewing, and it also has the controls on the camera, which are the same controls that are on the remote. The plus and minus and mode and find. Plus and minus are zoom in, zoom out, and the mode changes foreground, background colors. And these are all on the camera and also on the remote, which is really good in case you lose your remote. But on the remote control, it does have some extra functions. On the remote control, top right, you've got a power switch. You've got a lock, which is focus lock. That is what you use to turn on when you're writing underneath it. If you're filling out a check or forms, you can turn the focus lock on so it's not continuously focusing. Freeze is when you mash the freeze, you have to hold it down for 2 seconds. and then it'll pop up on the screen. It'll say freeze, and when it's froze, you can pick the paper up that's underneath it, and the image will stay on the screen. And then you have to mash freeze again to go back to live mode. And on the remote, you've got plus minus just like the camera, and you've got mode, plus minus, zoom in, zoom out, and mode changes foreground background colors. These foreground background colors are real helpful for a lot of people that have problems with glare, or bright backgrounds might bother certain people, so you can change that. The white balance is the color of the background. Right now we're set to normal, I think, and if you change it to warm, it changes it to an orange tint, and you mash it again and change it to the next one is normal. That's what we were set to, and then mash it again and it goes to a cool background, which is a bluish tint. And all this is set up to allow you to change it to what suits your eye condition the best. And I'm gonna go back to auto is the first one. It's my remote. The remote's not working great, but the WB will rotate you through the choices. And the green ones on the very bottom are line markers. You have to mash and hold these down for 2 seconds also. They do that because that way if you bump it, the line markers don't come on. You have to hold them down. And once it comes on, you can adjust them with the ULM right here means upper line marker, LLM is lower line marker. And that's how they're adjusted. Okay. Now, the Acrobat also has a power switch on the remote and a power switch underneath the bottom right of the monitor. That only works if that master switch is on in the back, and then you can control it from the front. And this Acrobat has a handle also right here on top that you can use to move. You can pick it up and move it. It's stated that it's portable, but these are really designed to leave in one spot for as long as possible. I wouldn't move them as much, every day, but they come with a case, a rolling case. You can set it in the case, carry it home with you if you need to, like on the weekends or something. But the more you move it, the more chances you're going to take of damaging the camera. This camera will pop off. It's got a cable right here that disconnects, and then you pull it out and it'll pop off, and it's got a spot in the case where you can set it, or you can transport it separately than from the monitor. The camera obviously is the most important thing on this device. Okay, the next one is an Onyx. It's also HD. All of these are HD, just about all of them now are HD. But it's made by Freedom Scientific, which is now Vespro or whatever they call themselves. But it's also has a remote, and it's toggled to the unit so you don't lose it, but it will come off if you want to pull it off. But it's got a little strap to keep you from losing it. It's also got a master switch on the back that has to be on before any of this will work. And once you turn it on, you can leave it on, and then you can turn it off from the remote. And this one is a 22-inch. It also comes in different sizes. With I think 24 is the biggest it comes in, but 22s and 24s. And the remote control, the camera here, same. Lens opens for long range viewing. I didn't show you the long range over there, but flip the lens up and then you can do long range viewing. Flip the lens back down and you're back in live mode to read on the desktop. On this remote, you got top right power, green button. The blue button is mode. It changes foreground background colors. The teal is a rotate. If you've got a document that's upside down, or you want to rotate the document electronically, it'll rotate on the screen. Don't really know, I've never had to use that very much, but it will do it. And then you've got brightness. The yellow knob up and down will change the foreground background brightness, and then plus and minus, larger, smaller. The one on the bottom is a focus lock. The use of these are going to be extremely similar, the way these magnify and are used. The Onyx has got a little bit better ratio. This one goes down to 1.5x, and the Acrobat over there is at 2, I think. But it shows you as you go up on the monitor at what magnification level you're at. And these are extremely easy to use, very little training involved, and you can start using them pretty much immediately. Both of these have great images. They're real similar in the way they work and the way they're used. The next one is the DaVinci Pro. It's a little bit different than the other two we've been talking about. The DaVinci Pro has speech built into it. It has the ability to be used as a CCTV, just like we did with the others, but it also has the ability to be used as a scan and read device for people that need to read a lot of information that might get a headache after reading for a while. But it has buttons on the front right here, the power on the bottom right, and in the middle is the magnification levels, and then on the left is the mode button that changes foreground background color. This camera is a little different. This is the CCTV camera here with the lens for long range, and the camera next to it is the scanning OCR camera. It has a wider ratio that will allow you to read a whole 8.5 by 12, 8.5 by 11 document, where the other the CCTV camera, you could only get about 75% of the document. So we're going to demonstrate the OCR portion of this. Right now it's set to just CCTV live mode, and this is the remote control. The middle is the zoom, one on the left is mode, and the one on the right is line markers. These down here are used with the OCR portion, the stop, the play, the fast forward and rewind, where you can back up and forward in a document. So I'm going to attempt to demonstrate the OCR portion now. The button in the middle that does the magnification also matches in. That's where you turn on your OCR, and a yellow box is going to come up on the screen, and this is where you position your document inside the yellow border, and it's using the different camera now. And the capture button right here on the remote, the middle button, I'm going to mash it, and it's going to make the sound of a picture, processing, and hopefully it's going to read it to us.
iPal registered Sign Ace and Ace Plus portable reader and magnifiers. The iPal Ace.
It can be paused. As it's reading, you can pause it and then mash the pause play button again, and it'll start back. You can also adjust the speech to make it change from male to female, different rates, pitches, and tones to read it faster if you need it, have it read faster to you.
Reader and video magnifier in one lightweight, battery-operated device.
The speed can be adjusted on the fly. Right here, I'm going to turn it up a little bit.
Bullet accurately and instantly scan, read, and magnify text. Bullet save and share scan.
And that's going to read faster, and then if we, that'll read slower. You can also adjust the volume, make it higher or lower. And then when you're done, you mash the button in the middle again, and it goes back to CCTV. It's called live mode, and then you're back to just the regular CCTV. These three, this one's a 24-inch monitor. That's the only option. It only comes with a 24-inch monitor, and it's also made by Enhanced Vision. On the back of the monitor right here, it has a VGA port that can be used. You can hook your computer up to it, so you have one screen. You have the computer on this screen, and also you can use this screen for the CCTV. That cuts down on having to use two monitors on a small desk. The other two that we looked at first don't have that option. This is the only one that does, and there's some people that prefer to use it in that way to cut down on the having to look back and forth at two different monitors. In certain situations, it does help out a lot. But this was made by Enhanced Vision also. Acrobat's Enhanced Vision, and the Onyx is Freedom Scientific Vispero. We've been using these products for the last few years, several years actually, and very few problems. We've had lots of good success with the durability of them. They seem to have long-term durability. The warranties are good. Each one, the Enhanced Vision products have a 2-year warranty, and the Onyx also at least has a 2-year, maybe 3. But and we'll provide any service, any product service that needs to be provided. If you have any problems with it, we can ship it back to the manufacturer, whatever the case is. But appreciate you joining us today, and hopefully this will help you out a little bit. And thank you.
My name is Joel Stevens. I work at Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind. I'm the Assistive Technology instructor here at the Gentry campus in Talladega. We're going to talk a little bit about our experiences with distance learning and what we've discovered. We've been doing some form of remote distance learning management systems for over 16 years. We've used Moodle just about since its inception and hosted it locally. But since we've gone to a hard remote system with students in various locations, it's proven to be an eye-opening experience. One of the main things, as every instructor knows, is all of your students are individuals. They learn differently. They're going to have different strengths and weaknesses, and there's not going to be any one size fits all. So the first thing you're going to have to learn is flexibility. It's definitely not going to be exactly what you've been doing. What we've got to figure out is that even some students don't thrive well in a remote learning management system. They might need direct contact constantly, phone calls, text messages, emails. It takes a lot of initiative to do this. You have to set up your own structure on your own time and make sure you're putting forth maximum effort, or you're not going to succeed. It sometimes feels as an instructor that we're trying to herd cats on our end. It's definitely challenging. I heard one of our instructors say that it's more work for less students, and it feels like that. But you can definitely achieve really good results using different systems. One thing we found is that a student's mobile devices are crucial. That phone, whether it's Android or iPhone, is their lifeline. Their desktop system may not work. They might be waiting on equipment. And it's just very, very handy. Not only with just phone calls and texting, but all the various apps. All the different learning management systems have their own app, and not only email, but the calendaring app. This helps a person set up an agenda. If they have the calendaring app on their phone and the meeting apps, they can show up on their calendar. They get prompts, and that helps give them the structure on their own. And if you as an instructor also can set up individual and group meetings and classes like that. That gives them a little more structure and helps them prioritize their day. But just having those apps on their phone, like I say, that gives them the ability to do their check their assignments, communicate with their instructors. Sometimes they might use two devices. If you've got your Zoom or Google Meet app, you can communicate with either or, and that lets you give them an expanded skill set also. Don't tie yourself to a single learning management system if you can. There's a lot out there, a lot of free self-hosted ones. Like I say, we use Moodle here, but Canvas, OpenEdX, Google Classroom. I mean, we integrate several of these at the same time, because once a student leaves our class, the reality of what we're doing now is the way it's going to be from here on out. And the more skill sets we can give them, whether they're using, we don't just use Meet, we don't just use Zoom, we don't just use Moodle. We try to make sure that we give them email assignments where they email us back. We give them classes in Zoom, we give them classes in Meet. We use a different management system whenever possible, just so if they choose to go to work or they go to college somewhere else, they hopefully have had exposure in my class to some of these technologies. And the main thing is try to be flexible, and that's been our motto from the beginning.